This conference will now be recorded.
Cruises. But not only just talking about European river cruises, talking about the many opportunities for themed cruises, whether it's going for the gardens and flowers in Belgium and Holland, whether it's going for the wines in Germany, or whether it's going for the activities along the river. And today we'll talk about the different ways to river cruise. So I appreciate you coming. It's one of my favorite ways to travel. I've done at least 7 European river cruises, and I've also done Egypt and China. So lots of great opportunities on river cruising. So first we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll introduce who Travel Central is, and then we'll turn it over to Lori, who'll go ahead and tell us all about AmaWaterways. So like I said earlier, Travel Central is in the New Orleans area. We've been serving clients since 1988, so we have over 33 years of experience. Our only goal, truly our only goal, is to ensure that our travelers go on seamless, frictionless vacations and come back with incredible memories. You'll have one expert, one travel advisor who will work with you from the time you start planning your vacation to the time you return home. So you don't have to sit on hold and wait for anybody. You'll actually have a person who, if you can't talk to at that moment, will call you back. Now, in addition, we actually can offer enhanced benefits. We're part of a large organization who provides things like upgrades, amenities on board cruise ships, and different things like that. It just depends on where you're going. So we're glad you're here today. We look forward to having your questions. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box, and we'll answer them either as we go along, or we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. And then if everyone could stay on mute so we could avoid any background noise, we would appreciate that greatly. So with that, Lori, I'm gonna turn it over to you. We're fortunate to have Lori with AmaWaterways. She's been in the travel industry for multiple years, but loves river cruising and will share the different things that are available on AmaWaterways. Thank you, Lori.
All right, so I was on mute, sorry. So thank you, Melinda, for having me. I appreciate being here. I can't wait to share with you some of our specialty cruises. And for those of you that are new to AmaWaterways, you're going to learn a lot. Like Melinda said, river cruising is her favorite. It happens to be my favorite way of travel because I will show you why. But first of all, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. We are a privately held company, and that really truly makes a difference when you're talking about our ownership. Rudy Schreiner and Christine Kars are married. Rudy started the company 20 years ago. He is an engineer by trade, so all of our vessels were designed by him. He actually started a few other river companies that you know of, and decided to start his own with his wife Christine Kars, who's actually in Europe right now on the Danube on our product. Most of our executive staff is in Europe with the start of the sail season. So we own 25 vessels. We're small but mighty, and we actually, all of them are paid for. And coming out of a pandemic, that's really important for our financial stability, to tell you about our financial stability. So all of our 25 vessels are paid for, and even we're building a couple of new ones that are paid for as well. And during the pandemic, that's how Rudy said, that's how I can sleep at night. So I want you to take a look at this, because oceans take you to countries. And when you really think about this slide, and rivers take you through them, the beauty of history, culture, art, you name it, the food and wine of the regions, rivers take you right through them. So what a beautiful, beautiful way. We are seeing a couple of trends this year, and that's with the number one trend are ocean passengers switching to river because of the sheer picture that I have in front of you. This is in Passau, and this is our Alma Magna that is there, and just the beauty of stepping right off the vessel into the destination, so you can really experience that destination. And I always say, experience it through the food, culture, and history of that destination. So longer stays has been a big part of AmaWaterways, but now our clients are asking for their even longer stays. We have a 46-night journey that I'll introduce at the end. So if you ever wanted to take a world cruise on the river, we've got that available for you. So just a map of where we have our product. And of course, we start in Portugal down here, the Penejo region, which is a fabulous wine region. I happen to be a lucky one that's going at the end of April. It's a beautiful product. And of course, we move in on the Garonne and the Douro, and that's in Bordeaux region. All of those big houses, Saint-Emilion, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, all of those big houses, if you're familiar with wines. Also the Rhône and the Saône, the Seine River, if you're into history and art, maybe Monet's Garden, Giverny, here is a specialty cruise that you would absolutely love. And then we move on to the Belgium and Holland waterways. And of course, that is going to be the Scheldt and the Maas River along the Rhine, which are tributaries, the Rhine River, the Moselle, the Rhine-Main Canal, the Upper Danube, and the Lower Danube, all the way to Giurgiu. So with 14 rivers and waterways, 23 countries that we go to, and 33 itineraries. We do have some exotics. Melinda has been to Egypt and the Mekong, and then of course on the Chobe River in Africa. So as you can see, the exotic Mekong, Siem Reap to Ho Chi Minh, or Ho Chi Minh back down to Siem Reap, upstream or downstream. This product can be up to 17 days. We will start sailing October the 17th on the Mekong. So maybe that's something you're interested in. And then one of our exotics, maybe an African safari. You've got a 28 passenger vessel and you'll do a 4-night river cruise. Then you can build on it and maybe have a 5-night African safari, Victoria Falls, the Rovia train. So this can be built into a 21-night. And of course, always our beautiful Secrets of Egypt and the Nile. This was a brand new product for us. She sailed in September, so brand new. We've now got availability for 2024. 3 nights in Cairo, and then 7 nights on board the Amadalia. The Amadalia only accommodates 78 passengers. So as you can see, we've got quite a variety of product with different amounts of passengers on board. And that's what our ocean passengers love about river. They're small, intimate vessels. And then, of course, in 2023, we're going to be on the Magdalena River in Colombia. So stay tuned for that in late 2023, 2024. So we're always constantly building and changing. I want to remind you that there are 4 distinct seasons, and we're going to talk about a couple of them with some of the trips that Travel Central has planned with us. On the Danube and on the Rhine, you've got 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn, which is the first time that I've been on the river in autumn. I've always stayed away from August, but it was beautiful. It was lush and green right before Crush. And of course you have Oktoberfest. And then you have a very festive time that I think if you've ever been to Christmas markets are delightful. Festive, and I have a couple of more slides on Christmas markets later. But remember, just because you've done springtime, maybe you've done tulip time, maybe you'll join Melinda's group, Holland and Belgium, in the spring and see all the beautiful gardens, all of the chateaus, all of the, most of the chateaus, the museums, and the gardens that we go to are full, beautiful gardens. I'd love to have a green thumb like that. But we'll talk about what's included in your journey. So, of course, all the basics: your cruise fare, transfers if you purchase AmaAir. You also, a cabin, you've got different staterooms to choose from, and I've got a slide on that, but also beer and wine. So we're basically an all-inclusive product right now. And your Beer and wine included with meals. We have a sip and sail cocktail hour every afternoon, which is complimentary. We have a chef's table that is a special dining area that is included. It's a 6 to 9 course pairing with wines. All of that is included. And of course, up to 6 choices of excursions daily. So we have active excursions, we have walking tours, really the gamut. You're going to see and experience that destination through food, wine, culture, art, history. That's the beauty of river cruising. We even welcome our solo passengers, so we don't penalize our solo passengers. We have free Wi-Fi, bottled water, lots and lots of amenities on board. You're going to use this as your floating boutique hotel to get from point A to point B. That's really, and that's how close you are to port. This happens to be on the Rhine, so you see this magnificent castle along the Rhine. And you're going to experience it on these beautiful rivers. Our shore excursions, there can be anything from wine tastings off board, on board, active excursions. If you want to be a little bit more active, we have our bicycle and hiking tours where our wellness hosts will welcome you on board. You can see a hike and a bike. Beautiful biking along the Danube because it's flat. An incredible way to really experience the destination, and you can take one of these bicycles off board. I highly recommend the activity on the right of wine tastings. We bring you in the vineyards to taste these fabulous regional wines. So I'm going to bring you on board just to remind you what our vessels look like. They're absolutely beautiful. Of course, the main lobby, the Mecca Center, and the hub of what's happening on board. And then our dining, all important dining, because it's regional dining. We bring regional cuisine on board. We're part of Le Chien de Rôtissier, which is a French gastronomy membership. So you can about imagine that dates back to medieval times. And it's a wonderful opportunity to enjoy specialties of the region, but also that Western flair if you must. All of our breads and bakeries are pastries are baked on board, so it gives you an opportunity to have those. We load provisions daily, so we never freeze any food. So it's really an Epicurean delight. And depending where you are, you will experience some of the most magnificent wines of that region and some of the food of that region. This is a picture of our chef's table. It's a very exclusive dining area, and it's all complimentary to you. Just have to make a reservation. And the main restaurant, probably where you're going to eat all of your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we have our private wine rooms. These wine rooms, or they can host a dining room also, so it can be a private wine or a dining room. We have 2 on each of our vessels where the dining room is. So maybe you have a group that you want to dine with, you can certainly do that. Any of our wine tastings that we do on board, we're either going to do them in these wine rooms or we're going to do them in the lounge. Very intimate way. Remember our sip and sail cocktail hour, an hour and a half before dinner. You can have the cocktail of the day. See, here you see a lemon drop martini, or you can have a glass of champagne, wine, or maybe some of those fabulous regional wines that you can experience. Then you'll have local entertainment. So we bring the entertainment on board, which is absolutely incredible. This is my picture. I actually took this picture, and this is a Hungarian troupe that came on board. We were on the Danube, and they were absolutely incredible. So as you're sipping your cocktail for Sip and Sail Cocktail Hour, you'll be able to watch entertainment. And of course, at night, we have entertainment and dancing till 1 o'clock in the morning if you'd like. We do have a beauty and a massage. You can book that on board. We do have a wellness host on board. And you may say, no, I do not want to exercise on my vacation, you certainly don't have to do that. But we do have someone that is a little bit more active to guide our biking and our hiking tours. And then of course a fitness room. So that just brings you a little bit more on board to look at our beautiful amenities on board. And of course a pool, heated. So if you want to scenic sail in the pool, you can certainly do that. And then of course staterooms, anything from 160 square feet to 350 square feet, all room types. We don't have any inside cabins, they're all outside cabins. So you can see twin balconies, and this is what we're known for. French balcony, where you can sit inside and open that sliding glass door, and then a full veranda. I highly recommend this room category because it's a wonderful, wonderful room category. And then of course our suites. Our suites come with butlers and a lot of extra amenities. Some are surprise and delights, and some you were to expect. And then, of course, I can't mention the Danube without our flagship vessel, the Ama Magna. She's double the width of our normal vessels and a little bit longer than the 110 meter, but she only accommodates 190 passengers, but a lot of space. If you're coming from ocean and you're not sure about the space, this would be a fantastic option for you. And we have suites starting at 217, going all the way to 710 with our owner's suite. We have 4 restaurants, 6 bars, and she does the upper Danube and the lower Danube. And she will actually cruise the full Danube, 14 days, Wilshofen to Giurgiu, so upper and lower Danube. Just a fabulous way to see the entire Danube. That is one of the trends this year of everyone actually looking forward to longer cruising, more days, because they want to combine some itineraries, maybe a France itinerary with the Rhine. But right now, let's talk about a little bit of our specialty river cruises, because we're really truly the only one in the industry that truly has some very special and unique sailings. Starting with our wine cruises, I'm going to show you a regional wine map. So if you've ever wondered where your big houses, Saint-Emilion or Châteauneuf-du-Pape, where those wines come from, you can look at the middle of the map in the Bordeaux region. Provence, of course, all the south of France. You're going to see some really incredible Rhone and Chateau Côte de Rhone wines. But also on the Danube, you've got a wonderful white Alsace region that I absolutely love, but the Rieslings are incredible. So every cruise that we go on will have a region of wine that you're probably familiar with, going into the Champagne region, Champagne. And then, of course, the Moselle and the Franconia wines on the Rhine, Main, and Moselle, along with those beautiful Rieslings. And then, on the Douro, the Panejo region is the most famous in the world. So all of our cruises, and we do have wine-themed cruises. So these wine-themed cruises, we have over 60 set for this year, and all include a North American wine host. And that wine host can be, we have a couple from Texas with Messina Hoff, if you're familiar with that wine. Most of these are from Napa. It could be Oregon coast. It could be the East Coast. But all very, very popular wineries that the vintner or the wine owner will come on board and host a wine cruise. Now, of course, you can't host a wine cruise without the pairing. You'll be able to sample some of their wines. Plus, we have specially curated meals that include the regional wines. So if you've ever wanted to infuse yourself into the wine culture of a region, a river cruise in that certain region is the trip for you, which is an incredible way to see. And of course, we're going to pair it, all of the cuisine along these rivers. Look at these beautiful oysters. I know some of you are from the New Orleans area, and you're quite familiar with oysters. In the Arcachon region, in Aquitaine in Bordeaux, you have over 20 varieties because of the salt levels. So incredible culinary experiences. Or how about white asparagus, sproggle, and escargot? To just say a few of the culinary delights, and of course the regional delights. And then we have Christmas themed markets. So you saw that season. It starts the week of, basically the week of Thanksgiving. Some of the markets start to open November 19th. So these are festive, beautiful, beautiful markets, mostly on the Rhine and the Danube, but we do have Christmas markets, winter markets on the Ama Cristina on the Somme River. And it starts around Thanksgiving. So we celebrate Thanksgiving and the start of the Christmas season. We go all the way through New Year's, because we do have New Year's that we celebrate on board. And then, of course, our vessels are they're in dry dock right now. They will be sailing the 21st of March for the start of the sail season. So Christmas markets are absolutely magical. This is a picture of Cologne Christmas markets, happens to be one of my favorites. And it's just a very festive time. But not only is it just food and the culture, it's a camaraderie of the communities that come together to celebrate Christmas and the season. It's absolutely magical. If you've ever wanted to experience Christmas markets, I highly, highly recommend. It is one of my favorite times. We will have new for 2023, Gems of Southeast Europe, which is lower Danube, which you don't typically see Christmas markets. We're calling it winter markets along Gems of Southeast. So that'll be from Budapest to Bucharest or Giurgiu. For the 2023 Christmas season. All of the markets, all of the market squares are decorated beautifully with Christmas and booths. It's truly magical. It'll get you in the spirit. And then there's another themed cruise, which would be art. How about visiting Giovanni Monet's garden? He actually had part of the Seine pulled, a tributary pulled to his property so he could have all of his gardens watered. He actually planted most of the gardens himself. It was only later in his art world that he actually had help. There were only 7 master gardeners there at the time. But just imagine these beautiful gardens that he painted his masterpieces from, and of course had friends over. So you can go to the art world. It's not just Giovanni, but a lot of other spots. And then we get to the garden aspect, the beautiful gardens of Europe. This year we'll host 2022 Floriade, which is right outside of Almere, of the Netherlands, of Amsterdam. This is the largest horticulture show in the world. And if you're traveling between April 14th and October 7th, you get to visit the gardens on any of our itineraries that start or end in Amsterdam. I hear it's a gardens paradise. Right now, we have tulip time that just started. So you've got 480 varieties of tulips. Can you imagine? But these gardens, they date back to Roman times. All of these beautiful, beautiful gardens were very specially curated. The Romans loved their beautiful gardens. And of course, the architecture dictates the gardens, which way the sun was coming in and how they planted their flowers. And landscape, Versailles, seeing the beautiful gardens of Versailles, if that's something that you want to see. So the beautiful gardens are everywhere, from museums, art galleries. You have all of the chateaus, the famous Keukenhof Gardens in Amsterdam. You'll see beautiful scenery and gardens on almost every itinerary that you can imagine. You can see right here, that's the famous bridge that Monet painted, and it looks just like this. This is actually one of my pictures that I took. So it is absolutely, absolutely incredible. And then again, art. Van Gogh's Museum and Frank House. This happens to be just one of the spots that you can look at beautiful art. And of course, history. The Normandy beaches, you know, that is another theme that we have with the history of the destination. This happens to be in Arcachon, which is an incredible place. You can still see some of the landings that are still in the water. So if you're interested in history, you'll learn all about the destination. It's full of history. Remember, the Romans navigated these rivers. So just incredible, incredible things. We talked about Colombia, metropolitan touring along the Magdalena River, which is going to be very diverse culture. The amazing architecture, but really the biodiversity of the Columbia, of the Magdalena River in Colombia. So stay tuned for that in 2024. We do have music themed cruises. So we're talking about classical music on the Danube, Vienna to Budapest. You can do some extensions. Every single, and this is new for 2023, every single itinerary on destination and will have, and every excursion will be the history of a composer or maybe a concert. So that is really one of the themes that is ever on the Danube. You can see where you have Melk Abbey, where we're going to do a choir. When the choir is going to have a concert. So everything is themed around classical music, even the birthplace of some of the composers. Then we have Jewish heritage along the Rhine and the Danube River. This is just another one of our themes. If you have a group of 20 and we can specifically tailor this to you. And also our new partnership with Ancestry.com. So that's another themed cruise, which everyone loves to look up their ancestry. So that's part of our new. We do have a cruise July 30th this year that will include 2 genealogists on board. So if you're interested, please get with the Travel Central ladies to book it. Here's a sample. It is on the Rhine. And then I'll add that our pre and post cruise land program is second to none. You'll definitely want, the cruise manager will be with our passengers pre and post, so you get to be with that cruise manager. You'll also get transfers. We pick 4+ 5-star hotels in the city center. Also a welcome reception. We have touring every day, and we have breakfast that's included. So if you've never done a pre-stay with AMA, you can always start your cruise off with a fantastic pre or a post-stay. Sometimes you can do both. And then another theme this year is basically longer journeys. And this is our 46-night, 14 countries, 7 rivers. So if you've ever wanted to do all the rivers at the same time, you can certainly pick one of our 46 nights. It's incredible. We have spring, which will concentrate on tulip time and the gardens. And then we'll have summer that will also concentrate on the beaches of Normandy. So a lot of art and history. And then in the fall, autumn, we'll have Oktoberfest, and we'll have the beaches of Normandy, but we will have Oktoberfest and Crush with the beautiful leaves turning and the production of wine, the start of Crush season. So here you can see, this is an autumn calendar, basically itinerary for the 7-river journey. So I'm going to turn it back over to Melinda. I know that was a lot of information, and talk about the 2 trips that they have planned that are going to encompass wine and beautiful, beautiful gardens. So take it away, Melinda.
Thank you, Lori. That was fantastic. And as Lori said, I had forgotten I went to the Mekong, so that's horrible for me to even say that. But I just came back in October of last year. I went on AmaWaterways, and we actually did the Vienna, Budapest to Munich cruise and loved it. So I've been on many Amas, and I look forward to this one. This tulip season in Holland, the Netherlands, is one of the most beautiful places to go. It is absolutely stunning. And this actually, with the Floriade, it's only once every 10 years. Because of 2020, they've moved it to 2022. So it is a once, basically, in a lifetime experience. And then you go to Belgium as well. Tons of waffles, tons of cheese, and tons of beer. So a lot of fun for anybody who's a foodie and wants to try different things. But then you have the windmills and, of course, the porcelain. So great cruise. We have a great group going. We have about 15 of us going. So we look forward to inviting anyone who would like to join us. It's May 10th through 17th of this year. You can see it's $37.99 per person. And there is a group of us, there are people who are doing a pre for 3 nights prior. And then there's a group of us also doing a 7-night Norway by rail after this. So you can either do one of those two if you'd like to. Then the other one that we have going, and she's going to flip the screen, is the wine theme cruise. And I did this one a couple of years ago. It is absolutely stunning to go to Germany in early November to see the wine cruise. It's a lot of fun. You do all kinds of wine tasting. My first wine tasting, and they poured me a whole glass, and I thought, wow, that's a lot of wine. And then they kept doing that. I thought, this is crazy, but it was a lot of fun. The speakers on board talked about wine, so it was those kind of things. We went into a cave and tasted wine. We did all kinds of different wine tasting. So it wasn't just going to vineyards and wineries and tasting. I mean, some of them were in caves. We went into this one little town, and the mayor was there. So a really neat little thing. And one of the things on this one, when it ends in Germany, you actually go to the town and they do an Oktoberfest just for our cruise. And we did that this year, and it was a lot of fun. They sing and they dance. It's a small town, but a lot of fun and good food. So Mary is hoping to go on that in November of this year. And if you'd like to join her, just give us a ring. We'll be happy to help you. And finally, you know, travel is changing. We love it. It's evolving. We're getting better things every day, enhancements, more sustainability, safer and cleaner, and all those kind of things. But we keep up with the most current issues that are going on in travel. That is what Travel Central does. We make sure you know what to do, and that when you go, again, have a seamless, frictionless vacation as possible. We do, if you have any questions, I don't see any questions in the chat box, but we are going to be finishing right now. Please put your questions in the chat box, or if you have any questions, just give us a call at our phone number, 834-504-834-7000. This has been recorded, so I'll be sending out the recording, and it will be on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So again, thank you for joining us. I think that is the last. And y'all have a good evening. Any questions? If not, I'm going to end the meeting for all.
Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
You did a fabulous job. Thank you.